It's back to school for millions of American students, with more and more parents opting out of public schools. At least 14 states and the District of Columbia have enacted voucher programs, making school choice more affordable for parents. Well, here to explain what is happening in Arizona is Young Voices commentator Arman Sidhu. He's an American educator and writer based in Arizona and the founder and director of iCubed Learning, Inc., a nonprofit micro school. Arman, you recently wrote an article that appeared in Real Clear Education that defended Arizona's empowerment scholarship accounts, the school voucher program. And that program is now starting its second year. So please explain how ESAs work.
Sure. Well, thank you for having me.
Sure.
Education savings accounts are taxpayer-funded accounts that allow families to withdraw their students from a public or charter school. And in return, they're also given about 90% in the case of Arizona of the funding that would have followed that student if they had enrolled in public or charter schools. So as a country, we have not usually funded or provided public funding for homeschooling students or private school students. And Arizona's Empowerment Scholarship Account program made school choice history last year as the first program that had universal eligibility. So families, for the first time when they withdraw from a public or charter school, are also able to make sure that their funds, because families that are homeschooling or private school families pay into this very same public school system that we all do, and they actually get to utilize those funds at their discretion.
Well, why do you believe Arizona's program is working so well?
So I think part of it comes from what we've seen after the pandemic. The pandemic became the first time where parents really got to see up close how their child's instruction was being planned. And I think we came away from that experience with the idea that online learning, although it had a lot of areas where it could work on, it had enough to the point where parents felt confident to withdraw their students from public schools. And a lot of the avenues where we see parents frustrated the most, one part of that is safety. So looking beyond just school shootings or events like that, but also things like bullying, when they become chronic, can really impact a student's achievement in school and their feelings towards school. So safety becomes one avenue where a lot of families are being attracted to this program in Arizona. And the other part would be instructional or curriculum. So as a parent, if you disagree with the way that your public school has formulated a curriculum, this ESA program became an opportunity for you not only to withdraw your student, but to also, in other words, put your money where your mouth is and really begin to spend those funds in a way that you think best benefits your child. So if you have a student that maybe is struggling in reading and you haven't seen much progress in your public school, a lot of families like to utilize these so that they prioritize the subjects and the skills that their children need the most assistance with. So I think those have been the two driving factors that have made Arizona's program, which now represents about 64,000 students, popular with parents.
Well, one criticism about vouchers is that taxpayers pay twice for students attending public schools and then also for those using vouchers to attend private institutions. And they say only the affluent can afford them. So your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so a lot of the opposition tends to focus and makes vouchers seem as if they're subsidies for the affluent. And I think what we really need to get away from is understanding that the options that are available to us, especially after the pandemic, look far beyond the traditional school. So I like to think of micro schools as the one-room schoolhouse that we used to have in this country, where instruction was really developed and guided by the people that were there. So you had smaller staffs. You usually had grade levels that were mixed. So instead of the public school monopoly system where we have one grade level per teacher, which can be very expensive to maintain, micro schools really customize instruction, not on the basis of when the kids were born or their age, but on their appropriate need. We should start to look at consolidation, closure of some public schools if they're not meeting the needs of their local community. So these ESA programs, even though it sounds as if we're doubling, I think we need to pay attention to the long game here, which is to say, what is going to happen to the public schools? If a public school is not able to function, it cannot attract the level of enrollment needed to sustain it for taxpayers, then we need to say, what as a community does our school need to look like? Are we a community that maybe works better with micro schools? Is this a community where the local public high school is the center of life, as it is in various rural communities? So really, those are the areas where we need to push back on the opposition and think about the long-term benefits of this type of program.
Okay, Arizona is setting the example for the rest of the nation. Young Voices commentator Arman Sidhu, thanks for sharing your time and insights. We appreciate it, Arman.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.